Alrighty, what's cracking with y'all? It's your boy Prince the Hustle Guy, and we reaching in our combat tool bag again. This video will be about Artur Beterbiev, or beterbiev, or however you say his name, versus Joe Smith Jr., the Common Man. So let's talk about it. It is a code black affair. So Artur Beterbiev is my guy right now at light heavyweight. I feel like he's the only one who's actually really attempting to prove himself. Well, no, I can't say attempting to prove himself. He's the only one who's actually proving himself, because he's the only one who's beaten consistent champions back to back. So you got Alexander Vostik, who he destroyed to become a champion, or to become a unified champion. I believe he already had at least one belt by that point. Then he also destroyed my guy, Marcus Brown, which I thought it was an idiotic thing to take the Beterbiev fight with no practice fight with Derek James. He had switched to Derek James as his trainer, and we seen that when Jamel Charlo switched to Derek James as a trainer, it took a few fights for him to acclimate to the catch and shoot Texas lean style. And when it was his time, Marcus Brown, he just accepted the Beterbiev fight and didn't really have any time in between to get acclimated to that style. So he went in there and did the typical Marcus Brown, and that's kind of stick and move, attempt to power box. But when you move like that with your feet and you actually are scared, you tend to waste a lot more energy than you planned on using by just popping a jab and dropping a cross and then taking an angle. It was like major shuffle right, shuffle left, anything to keep away from this monster. And once he cut Beterbiev, it turned into a real fight, and that woke him up, and he absolutely obliterated Marcus Brown. That said, that's two Olympians that he has officially decapitated, if you will, or he has these skulls. Others at 174 are not really seeking to fight him, and you have a lot of call outs happening at 168 with David Benavidez and Bivol and Canelo, but up at 174, no one's attempting to say this man's name for a reason. So getting right back at the fight, Joe Smith Jr., he's a buzzsaw workman. His alias is the Common Man for a reason. He really is just like a blue-collar worker, if you will. I apologize. I should be going with my American counterpart, in which most cases I do, but it's like Joe Smith Jr. is not beating this guy. He'll be able to put up an interesting fight, maybe piss off Artur Beterbiev, but by the time he's pissed off, that means he's pretty much going into gear 2 like Luffy, and he's going to start cracking skulls, and he's going to make that man, he's going to do what Joe Smith did to B-Hop. And if he ain't punching him out the ring, he's physically going to break him down in the ring. So I really have no faith that Joe Smith Jr. can do anything with Beterbiev. Yes, he has a puncher's chance to hurt him, but we've seen Artur Beterbiev get cut or get dropped and then get up and literally send somebody to the nether realm, send people to the upper room type stuff. So that said, I got Artur Beterbiev in a mid fight stoppage, so I say 5 through 7, and in those middle rounds, I believe he stops. I believe he stops the common man just because he came to the fight a little too common. As B Hop said, I think he may have spoke a little too soon and spoke out of place because it wasn't meant for him in this term or in this weight class, but or in that case or in this weight class. But I'd say Artur Beterbiev is a special man. Joe Smith Jr. is a common man, and that's your story of the fight. It's a cold black affair. Shout out to the mighty, mighty, mighty LDBC, LDBC only, LDBC everywhere, and also the Trilitary, of course. Um, yeah, Beterbiev hands down, and if Joe Smith Jr. is hands go down, it will be a man down scenario, like EJ say. Till next time, guys. Deuces.